Jurassic World is coming out in the next week, and in that time, I figured, let's go back and review the original series from the get-go, starting with the first movie. Now, as you can see, I've got the whole DVD set right here, the original 3 movies. First movie in the series, it definitely left an impression on me when I was a little kid. I was 5 when it originally came out back in 1993, and in that time, between then and a little older, I was always a dinosaur kid. I was always imagining tyrannosaurs and triceratops running around and fighting and all that stuff. I'd watched it on cartoons, on little TV specials and all that, but I never actually saw it on the big screen. That is until this movie came out. And when it did, I was completely blown away. It was just something I had never seen before, and thought to myself, I may never see it again. I was such a geek, I even had these little books that were on sale at stores and stuff that I just ogle over. I even still have the original T-Rex I had back in 1993 when the movie came out, and I've been holding on to this ever since. Yeah, I'm a little irresponsible. I lost the arms at some point, and I kind of ripped the leg, but, well, it's still a childhood toy to me, and it holds dear to my heart. Now on to the movie. The movie itself is about a theme park on an island off of Costa Rica, Isla Nublar to be exact, and this guy named John Hammond, played by Richard Attenborough, he's an eccentric billionaire who decides he wants to give the people something new, specifically a theme park made around dinosaurs. How they did that? Well, this company called InGen genetically created and modified the dinosaurs, so they are all females. And now, at some point, they want paleontologist Dr. Alan Grant, played by Sam Neill, to come through and view the park, along with several other people, namely Dr. Ellie Sattler, and everyone's favorite character, Dr. Ian Malcolm, played by Jeff Goldblum. Right there, the opening scene in the movie, you see a bunch of people in the forest moving something around in a cage, and it's not exactly clear what it is. All you do is hear a bunch of screams and shouts and roaring at something. You don't know what it is, but you just see madness. And then cut later on into the movie, about maybe 20, 30 minutes in, you see Alan Grant, Dr. Sattler, and the rest of the crew touring through the park to this big open space. And then the camera pauses, and it looks at Dr. Grant, and he's just staring at something, and he's in shock. And then you don't really know what it is. And then the camera pulls out, and you see this giant dinosaur, specifically a brachiosaurus, walking around, and then you hear the music. Like this really awe-inspiring, wow music. And you're like, oh my god, that's real. That's actually a real-life dinosaur. It gets even better when they introduce more characters throughout the series, and, well, the rest of the scientists go throughout the park and openly decide to tour everything for themselves. Now, here's the thing I didn't realize when I was younger. When I was younger, I was taken aback by the fact that there are just dinosaurs in the movie, and the special effects look so good on them. But as I got older, I finally realized it's not just about dinosaurs, it's about nature and whether you should or shouldn't meddle with it. As this movie proves, you really shouldn't meddle with it. Basically about the ethics of not whether you can do something. As Dr. Ian Malcolm says, you didn't stop to think whether you could, but whether you should. Just because you can bring dinosaurs back to life doesn't mean you have to, and as he said, life will find a way. Life will not be contained. And it happens so many times throughout the movie. Even Dr. Grant has his own skepticism about it. Granted, at several points throughout the movie, he's taken aback too. He definitely loves the sight of the dinosaurs and all. But at one point, he also says that it's so strange seeing species separated by millions and millions of years thrown together all of a sudden. You don't know what could happen. I mean, really, when you think about it, it's, for example, the Tyrannosaur, which we'll get to at a later point. You just do him in the same time period as humans on a tropical island in modern times, in an environment that he does or doesn't really know, or she rather, and things are bound to happen. There's also the fact that anything that can go wrong will go wrong, as Dr. Ian Malcolm points out, or as he likes to call it, chaos theory, with him and his stuttering ways. That's chaos theory, and we shouldn't do those type of things and stuff. I always loved how he talked like that throughout the movies. I think that's why everybody likes him as a character and can't wait to see him again. But as you might expect, everything goes completely awry when the park systems start failing, and who do we have to blame for that? Dennis Nedry, played by Wayne Knight, or rather Newman from Seinfeld. He's just this greedy character who is only in it for the money and decides, well, he's just going to sneak some embryos off, and, well, he does, almost, but things happen and he gets killed in the process. And when the park shuts off, everything goes as bad as you might expect. The dinosaurs get loose, specifically in everyone's favorite scene. In the movie, the Tyrannosaurus Rex gets out of the park and tackles the two Humvees and tries to kill everybody inside. In one of the most terrific scenes ever, and the thing that made a Tyrannosaurus Rex the dinosaur ever. The best dinosaur ever. The whole sequence just stays with you, even now. It's been 22 years since it came out, and I can still freshly remember it like it was yesterday. It's completely horrifying and yet completely awesome at the same time. Can't you just hear the roar of the dinosaur as you're watching this review right now in your head? I bet you can. There's also a talk about the velociraptors, the other favorite dinosaur, the smaller, more deadly ones that can hunt you. The ones that can run at cheetah speed. Matter of fact, I didn't realize it until I got older that all the action in this movie is very limited, but you're so engrossed in the fact that there's a story behind dinosaurs and science and nature and whether you should mess with it and how these people get off the island, you don't really care. As I've said earlier, the special effects still hold up to this day. They look very, very good. Like I said, this movie was made in 1993 when CGI wasn't the thing to do, and yet you can still tell that it really looks like they had it mastered back then. Seriously, it looks flawless almost. It aged perfectly, and it shows, and that's why this movie still holds up to this very day. And that's why it's always going to be a favorite movie of mine. Now, as you may have noticed, there are some problems with the movies. For example, at one point during the T-Rex attack, when the T-Rex first appears, it seems to be coming off of solid ground, like a platform that's exactly elevated to it. But later on in the scene, when it pushes the car over the cliff, well, there's a cliff there that suddenly appeared. I always thought that it was the cliff on the other side of the ramp, but I guess not. And there's also the issue with the Triceratops. I mean, it makes for a good scene and all to see Dr. Grant connect with a dinosaur that was his favorite, but we never see much of it again after those few minutes. Now, I know those are nitpicks, and I know those are serious things you might want to think about, but is it really so bad? No. Because by the time you're done watching the movie, you don't really care about it. You're just so taken aback by it. And overall, it was one of the greatest movies of all time, and one of my favorite movies, and that's why it gets the Diamond Ribbon rating from me. So, Jurassic Park, have you seen it? What am I saying? Of course you've seen it. At least I hope you've seen it. But what did you think of it? Did you like it? Did you dislike it? Do you think it changed the way movies are made? Whatever you think, leave me a comment below. Tell me how you feel. Also, don't forget to check out my Twitter at AsteroidMike. Don't forget to check out my blog. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel at all. And as always, I will see you around.